channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. So I asked a lot of people we asked a question basically on Facebook for relationship topics. So today we're going to just be answering them. Literally, you guys are actually commenting. You guys are commenting right now as we speak. So we're basically just going to answer in our opinions. Yeah, so you already know my name, and this is
Matt. Hey guys.
Hey. Okay, so before we get started, I wanted to say that Matt and I have been together for going on 10 years.
Good Lord.
So I don't want people, to think that we know everything, because we don't. This is just a disclaimer. I mean, we aren't engaged or married or anything like that. We do go to marriage counseling though, to prepare us for that next chapter in our relationship. And what else? Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to put that out there, You want to say anything before we start? Okay. So the first question was joint Facebook accounts. And I'm going to be honest, I have never heard that ever. So that's kind of different to me. I kind of feel like that issue kind of gets into more like trusting as far as the relationship is concerned. I feel like if you trust a person, I don't feel like it's a need to do joint accounts. I don't know, I feel like that's mainly like a trust issue, and that's something that should be worked on. But if it's something that's beneficial to you guys as a relationship, then yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's different, to say the least. It's very different. I mean, if that's what works for you, like she said, by all means, do it, I guess. And I guess it's not always about, just looking on the other side of it, it might not be about trust. It might just be easier for people to contact you if you both have the same Facebook.
Yeah.
I guess that could be, an argument for it, but overall, just my opinion about it is it's unnecessary and a little weird.
Okay, so the importance of communication. I feel like this is something that a lot of relationships go through, as far as listening to each other and taking each other's opinions and not getting offended when you have an agreement or disagreement, because that's something that we work on as a couple as well. There's certain things that he says that I don't agree with, and vice versa. So communication definitely takes a lot of patience, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's important to communicate. I agree. I think communication requires courage.
Sorry.
I think communication requires courage. I think that you have to be secure in your relationship and understand that you can be honest, and that you can take some criticism from your significant other. There's a lot of courage in dealing with that, because especially if it's a new relationship, it's probably scary to open up about certain things. But it's important. You gotta communicate, man. That's one of the most important things in a relationship, is communication.
Yeah, I agree.
It's probably the most important thing, matter of fact.
Yeah, because if you don't have any communication, it's almost like you're in a relationship and you're kind of like you're living a lie. Because if I'm feeling some type of way about something and I'm not communicating that with Matt, then that kind of that allows me to keep everything bottled up and eventually exploding and things like that. And being able to share your feelings, that's part of communication. You just have to be open with one another and being able to to just communicate. So the next thing is loyalty. I feel like in order loyalty. So I don't know, I feel like if you're in a relationship, you should automatically be loyal to each other, period. Because if you're not loyal to each other, then why are you in a relationship? Sorry, that kind of was I felt like, but
you got to kind of figure out what your definition of loyalty is.
True. Man, that's good.
Loyalty is not about necessarily about, riding till the wheels fall off. That's a term you use if you like selling drugs or something. But like if you're in a relationship, loyalty is, having the other person's back.
Being in their corner.
Right, being supportive. Not talking bad about them around other people or letting other people talk bad about them. Standing up for them, things like that.
He has so much wisdom. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
But you just really got to figure out what your definition of loyalty is and kind of make sure that matches with what your partner's definition is. Because if it's not, you may think you're being loyal, but that's not what your partner thinks. So figure it out.
Good answer. Another thing was 50-50. To be honest, there's going to be things that not everything is going to be 50-50, and I'm just keeping it real. Like, come on. We do try, Matt and I try our best to a certain extent, but it is good to, like, the main things, like, I don't know, like, what would you say, like?
I mean, when I think of 50-50,
is it like finances? Are you talking about finances? Are you talking about?
I mean, I was certainly talking about like just the entire relationship being putting 50-50 effort into, even like little things like cleaning or big things like if you got kids, taking kids to school or something like that.
I don't even think it should be 50-50. I think it should be 100-100.
Yeah.
Like, try your best to go above and beyond those expectations, right?
Yeah.
Like,
it's really dangerous to put a number on how much you're helping or how much you're putting into a relationship. Dealing with a number saying 50%, 50%.
50 cent.
It's dangerous because now you're measuring the other person's effort. And that's a real dangerous thing to be doing. It should just be like, if you see something that needs to be done, do it. Don't think about like, well, I just did it yesterday. Or I've been doing it for this last week, it's your turn. You know what I mean? Turns, that's a real dangerous, balance being to be dealing with in a relationship.
Yeah. Living together while engaged or before marriage.
It's just convenient for us to do at this time.
Yeah. But for advice?
I mean, it helped us because we learned to know each other.
Yeah.
I think it was better for us to do that before marriage because, if we lived in separate prior to marriage and then we get married and start living together, you start realizing things about each other that you wouldn't realize otherwise. So
yeah.
It worked out for us, you know what I mean? But that's no disrespect to anybody who's more, religious or traditional about how things should be done. That's just how it worked for us.
Yeah, and it is how it worked for us. And if you are, I'm pretty sure that people stay the night over each other's houses and things like that. But like Matt was saying, like it really does. It's really happening for us. It's going really good, I guess. I learned more about myself. Like it's almost like we grew together. That's the only way I can put it. That we grew together, and there's certain things that are pet peeves to me, and vice versa. We learned to live with them. Compromise.
I think, in my opinion, I think compromise is a big subject for men because I think women do it naturally. I think women deal with, taking on roles that require compromise. Like letting a man be the man, like letting a man take care of whatever a man needs to take care of. But to compromise for a man is kind of difficult, like, being a guy that cleans, you know what I mean? Or
wash his clothes, babe.
Yeah, wash clothes, like do things like that. I think part of that is part of compromise, and also giving up certain vices. Like I love to, just sit and play Xbox or watch football or something like that. But at any moment I would give that up, for time, for time with Shanese. And that's just like a small example. There's a bunch of examples I can give out, but it just compromise is something that you love to do, difficult to do, man. It's difficult to do. I love football.
So, prenup. Now, this is something, I'm gonna be honest, like since we're not married, this is just basically an opinion. So, the next question is prenup. Since we aren't married or engaged or anything like that, so this is basically just gonna be an opinion. I got a burp. Excuse me. So, this is just gonna be an opinion. This thing. Sorry. This is just an opinion. I feel like if you really love, okay, here's the thing. This is something that I have to work on personally, as far as like finances and things like that. So I feel like a prenup is, I feel like if you love that person, that you shouldn't even be thinking about a prenup. Like, I don't feel like it should matter. Like, but that's just my opinion. Like, if I was, I don't know, because I don't have a lot of money to like really to really think about it that much. So I feel like a prenup is, I feel like if you love that person, that you shouldn't even be thinking about a prenup. Like, I don't feel like it should matter. Like, but that's just my opinion. Like, if I was, I don't know, because I don't have a lot of money to like really to really think about it that much, or to protect what's mine. But I feel like if we're married, what's mine is yours. So I feel like a prenup is not needed. But that, again, that's just my opinion. And maybe, since I'm not engaged and I'm not married, maybe that's something that I don't really understand. But I feel like if you love that person and you trust that person, and if once you're married, that's the thing, you become one. So I feel like a prenup is almost like you're setting yourself up into a next step to lead into something that doesn't need to happen.
I mean, for me, it just depends. Like being with Shanese and me and us being together for so long, I don't feel like there's a need for me to have a prenup or for us to have a prenup in our relationship or our future marriage. However, I'm not gonna go against somebody else making that decision, because you got to know the person you're with. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah.
Just because we wouldn't go into marriage if we had any doubts doesn't mean that somebody else would go into marriage with that slight doubt that, okay, let me get this prenup signed, so just in case something does happen. Like, I don't knock that at all.
Because I came in with this marriage with my stuff, and I'm leaving with my stuff. Like, that's how I think about it. Like a prenup. Like,
I personally
what's mine is not yours.
I personally wouldn't do it. I'm not mad at somebody that does.